Let's get to Congressman from Utah, Jason Chaffetz. He's the chairman of the House Oversight Committee on National Security. Nice to see you, Congressman. Long time no see.
Good morning. Good morning. Glad to be with you.
Thank you very much. All right, let's get right to talking about what you would like to hear if you were in a position to grill the Secretary of State, because you've been pushing for answers on Benghazi a long time. You and I have chatted about that a lot over the last months. What would you want to know? What do you think is left to hear?
Well, our consulate in Benghazi was bombed in April of 2011. It was bombed again in June of 2011. What did the State Department do about that? Did that rise to the level of going to the President of the United States? I would think so, and I would hope so. So what did they do, knowing that there were these security attacks and that the ambassador himself, the regional security officer, was asking for more help, and that those things were denied? And then in the attack itself, was her participation? I mean, she was the one that famously ran the ad against Barack Obama. It's 3 a.m. The attack comes. What's he going to do? President Clinton and Secretary Clinton were both on watch that night, and we had an ambassador who was missing for something like 7 hours with no assets brought in to try to relieve the attack. There are serious questions about that. And then, of course, after the attack, why was the American public and the world misled for so long about a video that the Accountability Review Board said had nothing to do with the attack itself?
The Accountability Review Board also said this: the board did not find that any individual U.S. government employee engaged in misconduct or willfully ignored his or her responsibilities, did not find reasonable cause to believe that an individual breached his or her duty so as to be the subject of a recommendation for a disciplinary action. So they weighed in and said, listen, nothing was done willfully and nobody really should be disciplined.
Yeah, I thought it was interesting that the Accountability Review Board, an internal review, didn't even interview Secretary Clinton. Why is it that the person in charge wasn't even asked a question by this board? And the other thing that's deeply concerning about this review is they took 60 days. They went in there. They found more than 24 systemic failures. They had 60 recommendations. What in the world is going on at the State Department? We have 4 dead people, and in 60 days they could figure out what Secretary Clinton and the administration couldn't figure out in 4 years.
But she's already said this, right? She has already said, I'm the head of the department and I take responsibility. I'm going to play that clip for you and we'll talk on the other side.
I take responsibility. I'm in charge of the State Department. 60,000 plus people all over the world, 275 posts. The president and the vice president certainly wouldn't be knowledgeable about specific decisions that are made by security professionals.
That doesn't go far enough for you.
No, well, look, when your consulate is bombed twice, that doesn't rise to the level of going to the president's desk. I would think he would know within minutes that our facility was bombed. And to say that decisions were made by security personnel is absolutely and totally false. And I think the secretary is going to get some very hard questions on that, because they repeatedly asked for more assets that were Department of Defense assets that wouldn't even cost the State Department anything to implement. So
there are some people who said that they don't expect that she's going to be grilled is what I'm trying to say, because of the amount of respect that people who would be on this panel would bring, and I think her reputation. Do you think that that's a fair assessment of how it will go?
No, she's held in high esteem. She's cleverly figured out how to limit her time before the panels at 90 minutes, which I don't think the Congress should have acquiesced to. But nevertheless, yeah, we have a great deal of respect for her. But these are the questions. We have hundreds of embassies and consulates. We have thousands of people serving overseas. This push by the State Department to, quote-unquote, normalize as quickly as possible, saying that al-Qaeda is on the run, is not true. I mean, you see what's playing out in Algeria. And my concern is, moving forward, we didn't actually solve these problems, and that's the deep concern and question for the Secretary.
Can I ask you a quick question about the House vote on raising the debt ceiling for 3 months without the corresponding spending cuts? Is that something that you would support?
I think they're moving in the right direction. I like what the Speaker has put forward here, because
that's kind of a yes or no question.
Well, yeah, I'm saying yes, I would vote for it. And what I want to do is I want a solution. And what we need is the Senate to actually do its job. It's been more than 1,300 days. They've got to actually pass a budget in this country so we can get to reconciliation and work our differences out.
Congressman Jason Chaffetz joining us this morning. It's nice to see you, sir. Thanks for being with us.
Thanks, Soledad.
You bet. Head this morning.